1968 Chevrolet Camaro 396 4-speed. Let's take it for a test drive.
My responsibility to tell you just as bad as I used.
It's hard to go wrong with a big block 4-speed red 68 Camaro. This is a really cool car. Bought it from a family out of Utah. They are not the ones that redid it. They had it for a while, and the story is that this car was redone a number of years ago. And owning it and judging by the overall condition, it still is an extremely nice car front to back, but it does look like it's a little bit of an older restored Camaro, which is kind of how I like them. A brand new car can hide a lot of things. A car that's been ironed out and is a little bit older like this one, the flaws that it does have are minimal, and that's really indicative of a car that was really good when they started. This one has a date code correct 68 model 396 in it. Unfortunately, the motor, I can't tell you exactly what it is due to the fact that the suffix code on the front of the pad is not there. It looks like the block was decked when it was rebuilt. It was sold to me, and like most people, they oversell stuff usually. It was sold to me that the motor is a 68 model 396 L78 375 horse motor. Unfortunately, without the suffix code being there, I can't tell you what exactly this motor is. The casting number does come back as a 68 model 396, but that same casting number was used in the 325 horse, the 350 horse, and the 375 horse motor. So I can't tell you what iteration this motor actually is. It runs extremely well. I don't know any of the internals. All I can say is that it is a date code correct 68 model 396. It is not the numbers matching motor for this car. You do have a 4-speed manual transmission behind it, and you have power steering, so you do have a couple really good options. The car stops well, has a nice exhaust system on it. I believe it's got duals with flow masters, or excuse me, I know it has duals, but I believe the mufflers are a flow master setup. So it sounds really good going down the road, not too terribly loud. The few items that I have listed, which you will find on the Does It Work section, are when you put it in reverse, the little white lights and the tail lights aren't coming on. The little voltage light on the dash is not coming on. There is no voltage gauge because you have the 2 aftermarket gauges under the dash for temperature and oil pressure. The aftermarket stereo is in the hole, but it's not doing anything. The parking brake works, but it needs a little bit of an adjustment to hold it completely. And then the heater does work. But the little slide here, if you see when you push it all the way over, it wants to kind of push back a little bit. So some real small things that need to be addressed, but nothing that's major on this car. On the interior, you have your factory black interior. I believe it's code 712. Seats are excellent. Console's in great shape. You do have a small little imperfection on the top of the console in the very back here. And then the wood grain is kind of popping up just a little bit. That little overlay on the center console there. There's just some small little spots. But headliner, visors, dash pad, comfort grip steering wheel, all your pedals, carpet, floor mats, all that stuff checks out great. And we're warmed up. We're sitting at about 180 degrees, so we'll go ahead and get in the throttle some here. Motor has really good power for what it is. It really pulls hard. I will say the biggest thing with this car is the wheel and tire setup that's on it. Really not the wheel, but the tire setup. It is a Redline tire, it is a bi-sply tire, and it is from 2005. I would definitely upgrade these to a radial tire. I like the look of like a Torque Thrust D with a white letter BFG tire. I also like this look with the Redline. But if you are going to keep the Redline, I would really suggest upgrading to a radial style Redline. These bi-sply tires, even if they were brand new, they do not drive the best. So to each their own on that. If you like the look, I would upgrade the tires to a Redline BF or a Redline radial, because the bi-splies, in my opinion, they just kind of suck. They have a hard road feel. You just don't get as smooth of a driving experience. But again, that's to each their own. That's just my personal preference. Underneath, this car was restored at some point. The floors are excellent. Inside the trunk is awesome. There is no rust issues on the underneath. It is very, very nice. On the exterior, this car would have originally been green. It is now like a Matador red, a factory option color for these cars. The paint quality is very nice. Couple small little imperfections showing through now. Couple small flaws down low on the rear quarter in the back behind the driver's side tire. A couple other very, very minor little miscellaneous imperfections around the car. Small stuff, little dings in the trim, just little things. Take a look at the additional informations tab again on the website pcclassiccars.com. It'll really show you photos of the small little imperfections. It'll have the motor numbers on there, as well as a screenshot of that does the work section, so you guys can check that out. Suspension is all stock style equipment, has your stock style front suspension, stock style rear suspension. This does have a 10-bolt rear end. That is why I believe this car was probably just a small block regular Camaro. I'm not gonna sit here and say that it was a big block or even an SS car that someone just put a 10-bolt in, because you would have had a 12-bolt for the SS car. So someone just redid this car to look like an L78 396, 375 horse car, and there's nothing wrong with that. It is still an excellent car. It's had a lot of money spent on it. It is a very, very nice car. I love the black vinyl top. I love the accents that this car has with the SS emblems. It just looks kick-ass if you ask me. And a 67, 68, 69 Camaro are some of the best looking muscle cars. I know that's sacrilegious coming from a Ford guy, but it is what it is. I can respect anything from this generation that is as badass as a red big block 4-speed Camaro. Driving position is super comfortable. Again, you have some little shakes and little things due to the tires. It is not due to the suspension or the car itself. It is due to the bi-sply tires. If you've never driven cars on bi-splies, just imagine a rougher ride. That's pretty much what you get. Roll into the performance here a little bit again. Does have a nice aluminum intake. Has kind of has the out of the box Edelbrock carburetor on there. Enough performance for everyday driving. Obviously, if you want to go for more performance, you can go with a Holly style setup, or kind of what your liking is. But for regular driving, the Edelbrock does its job. Inside the trunk, again, is very clean. It's been spatter painted back there, has a spare mounted. Inside the engine bay is very clean. I really like how they represented the engine bay when they redid this car. They really did try to make it look like an L78, 396, 375 horse engine bay. The motor's very clean. Inner fenders, firewall, the charging system, all your fluids, everything checks out good. Glass is in really nice condition. You do have some little streaks on both of the side windows. Back glass is easy to see out of. You only have your single side mirror over here on the driver's side. You have your rear view mirror, which is very easy to see out of. Windshield is clean. Got a couple little bug marks, but no stone chips or really any problems with the main glass. I always like the comfort grip steering wheel. I like the smaller steering wheel. It just seems like it's easier to drive. The shifter position is nice. Looks like it's got like an aftermarket style Hurst shifter in it. Things I would do, I'd add vintage AC, fix a couple of the really small things that are not working. Again, I would go with a torque thrust D style wheel, the gray centered wheel with radial tires, BFG tires. That's just my preference. I do like the rallies with the red lines as well. We'll really roll into the throttle here. As always, I'm Mike. This is a 1968 Chevrolet Camaro 396 4-speed. From myself and everybody else here at PC Classic Cars, we appreciate y'all stopping in to watch another one of our test drive videos. Make sure you check out the content across all of our social platforms, and we'll catch you guys on the next video. Thanks again for watching.
My responsibility to tell you